Awesome. All right. Aloha, everybody. And Brian, are you recording? Recording. Awesome. And we're recording on the internets too. Yay. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, internet. Anyone on there? I can't see. There's one viewer.
Nice.
There's one viewer.
Boy, that one viewer is going to get
and
a heck of a
that might
show.
be my wife watching me because I told her I was going to be here, so she's just probably checking in. All right. Aloha, everybody. Aloha. My name is Stuart Yoshida. I'm the host of the OokTown Podcast, where we talk about all things ukulele. And it's wonderful to be here at the 11th Annual Denver Ukulele Festival 2018. This is a special podcast because we are broadcasting it live today. Woo! And I have some great guests, but before we even begin, I'm going to make sure I introduce Doug because I have been making it a habit of not introducing Doug. So
that's okay. Everybody knows Doug. It's all good.
I think I always assume that.
Hi.
That was Doug. Show him your hat again. That is an awesome hat. So that's
It's nice and tall.
So that's Doug, my co-host. He's been podcasting with us for 7 years. We just finished our 7th year of podcasting in April, so this is the start of our 8th year. So I'm going to go down the line and introduce these fine folks. First, I want to introduce Mr. Gerald Ross. Yoo-hoo! And Gerald actually started off on guitar and other instruments, and he found the ukulele by accident and broadcast it on YouTube, and it just here he is now.
Here I am sitting next to you, Stuart.
Yeah, and the funny story is Gerald and I have been knew each other from podcasting for several years before we actually met in person. It was kind of interesting. So it was great to meet you a couple years ago. So Gerald Ross.
Well, thanks for having me here.
And then we have Cathy Fink, and which one of Cathy and Marcy Marxer? And I keep forgetting. Were you both on the Grammy album, or who was I'm
the
so
Grammy
remiss.
album. We've been nominated for Grammys several times. 14.
14
and we
times.
won
Wow.
twice.
Nice. Well,
And
It's more fun to win than lose.
not to be confused with GRANNY, which we got some flowers saying congratulations on your well-deserved
Granny Award. Well, I've been wanting to get Cathy and Marcy on the podcast for years, on the advice of Gerald, but this is the first time I've had you on, so this is wonderful.
Here we are. We're amazing in podcasts.
Well, I love this because it's sort of captive.
Yeah, he's working on it.
Ben,
He's wandering around.
all right.
Where?
Why is Ben here? He's running his own festival.
I know,
Yeah,
exactly.
he's at the
get to work,
the
man.
Mighty Uke Day. We're getting a walking tour of Mighty Uke Day, so that's awesome.
Ben, yay!
Hi,
Say something,
folks.
Ben.
How are you? Gerald, Cathy, Marcy, Stuart. How's it going?
Yay!
Did you see
This
Sarah
is-
and Craig?
It's a beautiful day.
Ben, can
I'm
you
here
run over,
in Gerald and Marcy's old place of employment at Elderly Instruments.
Oh, nice.
pick up some strings for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, what do you need?
Yeah, sweep off the counters and price some cases. Stuff some catalogs in envelopes.
There you go. There you
It was
go.
such a great
Yeah,
place.
we've got Cathy and Marcy's CDs and books and all that stuff here. So, but yeah, Mighty Uke Day is going real well. I actually just came over here because it's too insane over there. So, but hopefully I'm gonna hang out here. There might be a ukulele and Abe might show up and be able to play something. So,
Kick him in the shin.
so
first.
how's things in Denver?
They are going just fantastic. I'm going to continue on with everyone. That's Ben Hassenger. He's running the Mighty Uke Day Festival out in Lansing, Michigan, and we are just honored to have him. Here on the podcast. So this is history making. I think. I'm not of course, it's history making in that.
Hey,
this is
Andy.
the first
Come here, man.
live podcast. Who else?
We're
who
on a
else we
live
have?
podcast with the Denver Ukulele Festival.
So you're paying for the
This is
podcast.
Andy Wilson.
I like
I know all those
You know
guys.
all those people, don't you?
Andy.
Don't
Hey.
you?
I do.
Well, so
do you
we're
have
doing a
any
live
things at home
broadcast
you
for
wanna
Mighty Uke
sell?
Day. What were you doing? Going to lunch or something?
I'm sure whatever Gerald said was just funny, but I didn't hear it.
It's probably joke number 132.
Yeah.
All right.
So, how's it going here at Elderly, Andy?
It's a complete zoo.
That's a good
It's a
thing.
madhouse. Yeah, it's cool. It's
That's cool.
Yeah.
You've been selling a lot of ukuleles?
I've sold quite a few. Yep.
Yeah?
Yep. Tens of dollars worth.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And you're trying to go to lunch? And
yeah,
I just
I'm
grabbed
stepping out for
you?
a second. Yeah, I'm getting out for 20 minutes if I can.
Do you have a
All right.
U-base,
I'm grabbing what I can.
solid
Well,
body
check out
U-base you could sell
Andy
me?
Wilson. You got a webpage, don't you? Andy Wilson Harmonica?
AndyWilsonMusic.net.
Andy's an awesome harmonica player and not a bad ukulele player either. And he plays with his wife Juliana in the Springtails.
Oh yes, the Springtails.
The
Nice.
Springtails. And he played today
With the
this
Wilson
whole
ukulele
family.
obsession.
That's right.
Yes, it was fantastic.
Aw.
Well,
It was
thanks,
actually-
Andy.
It was actually a mess.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
you know,
it was great. It was
a
great.
beautiful
Yeah,
mess,
okay.
though.
Yeah, it was. It was a beautiful
Very
mess.
cool.
All right, thanks. Hi guys, have
Hey, well,
fun.
aloha. Aloha. Well, I'm going to introduce the last couple people down here. We got Craig, Chee, and Sarah Maisel. Yay!
Are they? Oh, is that Craig over there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
Hi,
Ben.
Craig. I can't even see Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
We got the cheap seats in the.
We'll move the camera there.
It's
down
all
We
there.
have ukuleles.
We'll be seeing you. All of us actually will be seeing you soon, Ben, because all of us
I
are
know
going to be at
all of you
Mighty
guys at the end of June at
Midwest
Midwest Uke and Harmonica Camp.
Well, and this is this is actually kind of one of the topics I wanted to go over. So why don't we just jump into it because we don't have too much time. But first of all, I do want to send out a couple shout-outs, a really important one. I don't know if many of you know who Andy Andrews is, but he's one of the very cool folks who's been on the podcast. Plus, he was one of the founders of the Santa Cruz Ukulele Festival many years ago. But he lives in the Puna district on the island of Hawaii, and they're experiencing fairly significant volcanic eruption. And so right now he is evacuated from his home as far as I can tell. So really sending out best wishes to Andy from everyone here. And I'm going to include a GoFundMe link that you can donate to those people out in the Puna district of the Big Island to help them restore their houses and so forth. So anyways, big shout out to Andy. Also want to say Ukulele Abe, congratulations on the release of your album. I got it. Great vocals and ukulele, so thanks so much. And then we already talked about Ben Hassenger, that he is doing the mud.
What?
Oh, and
What are you
I
saying
think we're
about
getting
me?
Is that Mary Agnes?
Nope.
No,
not
that was
yet.
not. All right. Okay. Well, one of the things I want to talk about is things like this, which is a collaboration, and I want to get your guys' input on how we can maybe collaborate in the future for these different festivals. I know you guys were talking about some things that I think were really interesting, like you're talking about merch, and I think one of the things that we can collaborate on is share best practices, because I know here at Swallow Hill they are very experienced in merch. So for example, they know that artists want to sell their stuff, and they set up a place to and they sell it for you if you want, So I think that's a great thing to do.
Yeah.
But it's things kind of sharing those kind of best practices, I think, for ukulele festivals would be a great way of collaborating. I was wanting to get some of your thoughts on collaborating and maybe best practices to share with other ukulele festivals.
It's always really helpful when festivals can take care of the merch, because that way we are able to actually go out and hang out with everybody, and we don't have to worry about it. Because I know there have been a few festivals where we have to stay at a table the whole time, so you never really get to leave, and that's not really allowing us to be a part of the festival, which is why we're there. Yeah. So yeah, I love it when folks help us out with that.
Nice.
Yeah.
What else do we have?
Oh.
Oh,
What's that? Oh, I don't know.
Did you ask me something?
So confusing.
Yes.
I can't hear
Ben,
anything.
we're wondering when you're going to negotiate World Peace through ukuleles.
Yes.
You know, I'm working on that. Seriously, I have this idea called the Ukulele Orchestra of Peace, which we get people from all different countries, and we all tour together and, you know, play in different countries and bring people together.
Do we get
You guys
separate
in for
hotel
that?
rooms?
You what?
Do we get separate hotel rooms?
Well, no, we're going to have like a bunkhouse.
No, Ben, you're going to have like a bunkhouse.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay.
That's a
What
really
can I
cool
say?
idea, Ben.
Yeah,
That's a great idea.
I love that idea.
I think it would be kind of cool.
Yeah, it would be cool.
We'll work on that.
All right.
We'll work on that.
I'm surprised
we'll
we didn't
discuss
do
it
like
at
a
it-
collaborative,
at Olivet.
We should have done like a jam song that like your festival and our festival here could have done
That would
together.
be
That would
cool.
have been.
There's
I'm
another
hoping
idea.
Abe and
That would've
Lenny
been
show
Honey,
up
with
here.
the streaming,
but,
that could have been a big
they-
mess.
Lenny just did this incredible Motown strum today at Sir Pizza, and I guess the whole building was shaking.
Awesome.
Well, we're gonna have to try and
And
do that.
last night we had Joel Mavis and Ukulele and Cynthia Lynn do a concert last night. And tonight we're looking forward to James Hill and Ann Janelle and Abe and a woman named Carla Kane, who's out of the Bay Area.
Nice.
So
Awesome.
we had Lenny and Abe and the family are walking in right now.
Yay!
The whole gang is here. Yeah, first I'm gonna show the baby because she's so cute.
All right. Yes. Okay, Ben. We're gonna ask.
Is there a baby?
Look at that adorable kid.
All right.
Over there.
Craig,
Hey,
and
Lenny.
Sarah, and Marcy,
I'm
and
gonna-
Cathy, and Gerald Ross.
Oh my
Hi,
God.
Gabe.
All right. Ben, we're gonna get some input from. We're gonna have to get some input from the other guests here.
Technology.
So
Oh,
We're gonna
anyway,
mute for a little while. You
Yeah.
can show
Say
pictures.
something.
All
I
right.
just want to say, Ukon, members of the world.
Yes.
You've gone around the world.
There you go. There you go.
All right. So we wanted to get some input from other people here on what else we can do to collaborate on the
Sorry,
on
we
these
have a crying
ukulele
kid.
festivals.
What do you mean by?
Or either sharing, one of the other things I think it would be great is sharing ukulele guest lists, because sometimes they're always looking for new guests to bring on the shows. You know what I mean? And there's always great input from the participants. I think we've brainstormed, and I think Gerald was one of the people we requested, and but other people I think would be great. I know from the UK there's other people. There's lots of people that we could look into bringing over. So
I think a lot of the festivals do that, and you'll pretty much find that a quick email or a phone call, any one of the festival directors would share with you what's happening. One of the things that I think is good, and we pay attention to this for our festival, the Strathmore Ukulele Festival, is, for instance, Gerald's festival at Ashokan is, it's not close proximity, but it's on the East Coast. It's one of the few large ones on the East Coast. Well, we sort of try not to have exactly the same people. We
Right,
want to
right.
give East Coast people different opportunities.
yeah.
And at the same time, we're all in conversation about, hey, who'd you see that was really great? Who'd you see that was a fabulous teacher?
right.
And, there are people who are great performers, but they're not great teachers, and that may or may not be a fit. There are also people who are fabulous teachers. Their performances aren't as strong, but maybe their teaching is enough, that's such a great strength.
Right.
And in fact, one of the things that we do at our festival, which I would encourage others to do, is we make a point of bringing up some of what I'm going to call the next generation. So, for instance, we mentored a high school kid for a year to get him in shape to teach our novice class.
Nice.
And he was awesome. And it gave him experience in teaching, experience in MC work, experience in doing a short concert. And actually, he's like continuing in that direction. We also try and pull from our uke community, some people who will be actively involved in the festival. And because they're there all the time, they may not be one of the primary instructors. But for instance, this year we have a special thing going where the last period of each day is what I'm going to call a curated jam session. And we're pulling some of our community people. One of them is doing the blues jam session. Somebody else, there's lots of different ones. We've pulled somebody from the community to take on the novice class who hasn't taught at this level before. So really, we're not just nurturing all the students who come, but we're trying to nurture an ongoing community of instructors and performers as well.
Great. Yeah, I love those ideas.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Anyone else?
With the music scene, the folk music scene, I think, I don't know how other scenes work, but with the ukulele scene, the guitar scene, the bluegrass, old time, people really do share because we're here for the love of the music. So we're already collaborating and probably in ways that people don't ordinarily see. But we talk to each other all the time. We share information all the time.
One more thing that I think is important is that as more and more Uke Fests spring up, that we all collaborate and be consistent on the definition of the different levels of playing.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
That's a really important
Yeah.
thing. And we look at what other uke festivals use and sort of try and get in the same place. So, because there's a lot of people who go to more than one event. And I think it's really, I think that's one of the things that we can be very consistent on, and that helps the whole community.
Great.
That's a great idea, Cathy.
Go ahead.
In terms of collaboration, this is for uke festival promoters and organizers. One thing, when we're traveling around and when we are booking gigs, one of the big questions is transportation and housing. How much does transportation? They call you on the phone and say, "I really want you to play at my ukulele festival." And then you look at how much an airplane ticket costs to the ukulele festival, and they go, "Well, maybe we'll talk next year." Many times that happens. So if some ukulele festivals, like a couple that are on the West Coast, not competing with each other, hundreds of miles apart or whatever, they can collaborate on paying the airfare for the performers. Split the
great
airfare.
idea.
It's a win-win for everyone.
It really is.
These festivals really don't make that much money. And if they could save $100, $200 here and there, it'll just keep things alive and keep things going.
Yeah.
That's
like you
a
said,
great
the
idea,
biggest
too.
thing is communication. That's one thing that we're starting to see more and more of, and it's actually kind of funny because we actually all of us here run our own events, which is actually kind of funny because we have our cruise ship thing that we do and all that too. So it's been a lot. It's been an interesting different take on it, but understanding both sides of it, I think, really helps. With each
And
one,
I was going to say, actually, to that, this year was the first year we were able to do that kind of thing where there's two events that are a week apart that are close enough in proximity that we're just going to stay in the area and save them both money because why not?
Yeah.
Nice. Well, I think those are a really good thing. I love the idea of collaborating on the cost of bringing someone out. That's a really great idea. If we can do that. I think the other thing that I've been seeing, which I think is great, is the what do they call that? Succession.
Giant robots.
Giant robots. Thank you.
I do what I can.
That's an inside joke or an OokTown joke. That succession planning, and that I am really impressed on the smooth transition from last year's coordinator, who has been doing this ukulele festival for 3 or 4 years. How long was Hannah doing it?
Yeah.
And then Lindsay jumped in, and I can't even tell that it was such a smooth transition. That was really great. And I'm assuming, although I wouldn't, I don't know for sure, I think there's a lot of knowledge that was transferred over or something, because a lot of people, a lot of good things that happened just transitioned smoothly over. All right, so Craig's coming up on his. We started late, just technical difficulty, and but we still have time. I think his is at 1:15.
1:30.
1:30. Oh, good.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. You have time.
Because I had some.
Is that correct? Okay.
Good.
So there was a festival that, this was when the workshop was in progress, but there was an event where the students lied to Craig. And
Well, we're in the middle of the workshop already,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh, how much time do we have?" And they're like, "Half an hour more." And they got me in so much trouble because we were actually supposed to have stopped at that time.
yeah, he actually only had 15 minutes.
Yeah,
And he
that's
just
all
kept
right.
going.
That's all right. They got
Oh,
me.
these
So
days we
the-
just
the
call that
moral
false
is-
news.
Yes.
The moral of the story is don't lie. That's yeah.
Yes.
That's too easy.
Yes.
I wish.
Okay, so how about the food question?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, the Mexican place next door is so good.
Oh, isn't it?
Which
The
one?
carne asada burrito is excellent.
All right. Well, what song would you
FYI.
play with? Do you think that song pairs up with? Because that was my next question. Thank you for. What
Is the
song? and-
question, what kind of food goes well with ukulele?
Yeah. Well, but be specific. Be specific. So I would choose a song by John Cruz called Island Style, and I would have poke with that. If people know what that is, which is a cubed raw fish with seaweed and soy sauce. Very good stuff. So what would
Marcy
you-
has an excellent song called Chicken in a Pot with Beer, written on the ukulele, complete with recipe.
Is that right? Okay, I would say that one is a winner.
Recipe and everything
Winner,
else.
chicken dinner, right? All right. So what do you have down there for Sarah, who's a vegetarian? So
Me too.
Let's
Okay.
see. No, Craig. Craig's so bad. No. You know what I find odd? This is slightly off topic, but at uke clubs, how come so many of them in San Diego, they're all around finger foods, which I think is a terrible idea, like greasy finger foods,
Like tacos or
and
pizza.
pizza and
right.
like so.
don't know.
But and that's where the clubs meet, is they have those greasy finger foods and they touch their instruments.
Well,
It's
maybe you should
delicious.
write a song about don't bring finger food.
Yeah, finger food and ukuleles don't mix. But I can't think of a song right. What about you, sweetheart? What do you think? Like I can't think of it either.
Yeah, what would you do with your spam musubi? Because I hear Craig is really famous for his spam musubi.
His musubi is world famous.
Yeah. You guys know what spam musubi is?
No.
Anyone? No? Yes. Ooh, we got someone who no spam, huh? No, it. You know spam. All right. So musubi is this rice cake.
Spam
That
is made out of things that are not found in nature.
Yes.
It comes in a can.
It does, and it's very salty and
It's
apparently
so
very
delicious.
delicious.
It is very delicious. People from Hawaii love it.
Yeah, but yeah, the musubi, it's the way Craig makes it is rice with a little bit of furikake seasoning, and then fried spam, egg, and then wrap it in a little bit of shoyu and sugar, and wrap it in seaweed. He makes me just egg ones that are quite delicious.
Very good. So yeah, but do you have a song and a food there, Craig? Anything?
No, song and a food.
I don't typically play and eat at the same time, so I'm trying a little bit of a blank. But like you said, poke is awesome because, in between songs, couple
Yeah.
bites.
chopsticks of poke is great.
Absolutely. Any song you would play with that then?
Yes.
What would
Well,
that?
relating
no,
to
no.
food, and not ukulele gatherings necessarily, but it could be, but relating to practice. A lot of people say they don't have time to practice, and to that I say Crockpot.
Yeah.
Put everything in a
Nice.
crock pot, turn it on, you can practice all day and you will not burn your food.
Yep.
And if you live with other people, they'll be very happy at dinner time.
Yes. I like that.
So I've got a food story for folk groups and ukulele clubs and the like, volunteer potlucks and all things like that. It was around 20 years ago. My son Jonathan was on a little league team in Ann Arbor. I'm from Ann Arbor, Michigan, and thank you.
Wow.
You can pay my mortgage next month. Thank you. What was I going to say? Jonathan ukulele. Oh yeah, so he was on a little league team, and I had one of my rare gigs in Ann Arbor, and it was Ann Arbor has this thing called the Dawn Dance every year, where it's a 24-hour long dance and concert. It started. I mean, you can go there at 3 o'clock in the morning and hear music. Well, they hired me to play some ukulele stuff at the Dawn Dance, but it was in the afternoon. It wasn't bad. So Jonathan says to me, he says, "You've got to drive me to Little League today." I said, "No, Jonathan, I can't. I can't I'm over here playing. I have to play for 1 hour. And I said, wait a minute. Your Little League game is right over by where I'm playing. What do you say you come with me to the gig and just sit there at the gig, and afterwards I'll drop you right off at Little League. He goes, I'll do that if you take me to McDonald's. And I said, no, Jonathan, I'm not going to take you to McDonald's. They're going to have food at this thing. And he says, what kind of food? And I said, well, it's a potluck. They'll have like rice dishes and tofu and salads and things like that. And he looked at me and said, I don't want to eat folk music food.
Oh my gosh, God bless him. God bless him.
Wow, honesty from a kid. There you go. All right.
Well, I'm just gonna make a comment about a recipe song that we recorded years ago. About 25 years ago, Marcy and I did a comedy album about parenting. It's called A Parent's Home Companion. Easily created by two people who have no children of their own, so we had time to make that album. And our friends Peter and Lou Berryman wrote a song for that album called Orange Cocoa Cake. And in it, you should all download this for Mother's Day, okay? Go to A Parent's Home Companion on Amazon or wherever you get your music and get Orange Cocoa Cake and send it to your mom or your grandma or whoever for Mother's Day. And it's an entire orange cocoa cake recipe
Oh my gosh.
in the middle of a song that is a mom bugging her three kids, a mom giving the recipe to her best friend while her three kids are bugging her in the background.
For snacks.
Yeah, and so it's a one-act play in 2.5 minutes, and there you go. And there's no ukulele on it at all, so it's completely safe.
Yes.
And we'll have the link to that in the show notes for sure.
Awesome.
All right. Wow, we have more time for more questions. Woohoo!
Oh, so I would play Cheeseburger in Paradise and have spaghetti. That's the two, the ukulele and the spaghetti.
Okay.
It works awesome.
All right.
Yeah, 'cause we actually gotta wrap
Cheeseburger
up
with
this,
spaghetti. Nice. Did I miss anybody?
No.
All right. Cool. Well, what do we want here?
Actually, I forgot. You could also play any song or eat any dish with Danielle ate the sandwiches.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Exactly.
And then
Nice.
you're golden. Yeah.
Bonus. Too bad she's not here this year.
For your sandwich.
Now, what were we talking about in the green room? We were talking about pickups.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
All right. So, what kind of pickups do you guys use on your ukuleles? Oh, I notice, Sarah, you have the beer cup holder in your
I do.
ukulele. You guys know what that is?
Cup holder, yes.
Yes.
Patented. It's
What
a very actually this one's more like a little shot holder
Shot
because it's pretty small.
It
My De
is.
Silva is definitely like the big old cup holder.
Okay.
But this Canilea, I forget, Craig, what pickups they put in. It's their proprietary ones that they actually. It's an active pickup. But I don't
Okay.
remember all of the specs and stuff. But both of our instruments have it, and it's pretty awesome. Every time we plug in, the sound guy's always like, "Wow, that's a lot of signal." And we have the battery, we have a 9-volt inside,
yeah.
which does add a little bit of weight. But I mean, and the thing I like about it, strangely enough, is that it forces us to change our strings regularly. Because in order to get to it, you need to remove at least one. Right? And it just ensures that we stick fresh strings on.
Maybe I should do that because
Were you complaining about the weight of the ukulele with a 9-volt battery in it?
Yes.
Have you played a cello banjo lately?
I know.
We're so lazy.
We're so spoiled ukulele players.
What was that? Was that an air high five?
Air high
Yeah.
five.
Well, this Kala has a proprietary pickup too, and it's got a little tuner, an EQ, and there's a little on the bottom here. There's a little thing that pops open where you have garage door batteries, those little batteries. So I have to be very careful when I'm playing. If I hit it a certain way and aim a certain direction, somebody's garage door opens and closes.
I've got an unnamed pickup in here, and I regret the fact that it is not powered because they sound better. And as a result, I have to use a DI that has a little extra boost to it. But otherwise, this is an awesome ukulele. And it does have a special feature here, a little cutaway for my clawhammer playing.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
I wondered what that was for, actually.
Where is that?
That's pretty
It's
cool.
right there on the fingerboard.
On her fretboard, there's a little cutaway for the claw hammer.
Nice. Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Gerald.
I've got in mine. I've got a MiSi pickup, MI-SI. You can find them on the web, and it's an under the saddle pickup. Comes out through the end here, and it's a chargeable pickup, and it has. It doesn't. It's not a battery. It's a capacitor. It's a charged capacitor inside here. And what it does, it's an active pickup, which means it amplifies the signal before it hits the amplifier. And that's a preamp. Okay. So the thing is, you plug it into the wall. They give you a special thing to plug it into the wall for 1 minute, and you get 6 to 8 hours of playing time.
Now, what happens if it stays in there for 2 minutes?
If it stays, you can't overcharge it. I've talked to the guy about it.
Actually, I've seen Gerald's eyes go like
Yeah.
this.
But anyway, about the hole in the side of the uke. A lot of ukes are coming now with this little hole in the side. People ask me what it's for. And what it's for is that by having 2 holes in your instrument, when you're playing fast songs, it makes the notes come out faster.
Yes.
I thought it's holy and you're closer to God.
Science.
You're going to steal all these, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah,
Science.
Well, you can.
to steal your jokes.
right.
You don't have to worry about
That was a good one, though.
That was a good one.
You can stick a little flask in there and use some medical tubing to run out of this thing.
Yep.
Or you can come out now with a cutaway. The advantage of a cutaway is you can put a little lever here that would be a faucet.
Yeah.
So you just take your little cup and open the faucet.
I'm gonna have to put a little warning on this podcast about the content of this. Do not take this literally.
Oh, and I have a Tacoma pickup.
You have a Tacoma. Okay, is there?
A Toyota Tacoma. Thank you. Thank you very much. Tip your waitresses. My work is done here.
All right, time to teach. Time to teach.
And so we should
Buddy.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up here. I'm gonna have links to all of these artists, so you can go to this podcast. By the way, go to patreon.com/OokTown, OOKTOWN, if you want to sponsor us for the podcast. It helps keep the lights on. Also, if you go to OokTown.com/podcast and just come up to me after the show if you want, and I'll give you a business card with all of this information. You can watch this podcast on video. It will be recorded and for your viewing, so you can write down all the jokes that you heard or little nuggets of wisdom, okay? All right, so as we go out, any suggestions on what you want to, any people you would like on your next album?
We're giving you background music.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, very nice.
Who would you like to collaborate on your next album?
Most of the people I want to collaborate with are dead.
Oh, wow.
We have
too
ways
bad.
for you, Gerald.
Yes.
Well, I would like to collaborate with Gerald, Cathy, Greg, and Sarah on a project.
Nice.
We would
Oh.
love that. Just let us know.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, I guess that kind of covers everybody, unless you guys have anything else.
No, we're good.
All right. Well, Craig is going to get set up again, and I just want to thank everybody here: Gerald Ross,
Thank you,
Cathy
gang.
Fink, Marcy Marxer, Craig Chee, and Sarah Maisel, and my co-host Doug Brown. Thank you guys all for coming out to the Denver Ukulele Festival. We'll see you next year.
1, 2, 3. Aloha.